Hello my lovies, it's Auntie Ange, Agony Aunt again. So this time we're going to be talking about the 3 W's, and we're also going to talk about social workers. So it's not very nice, some things. Right, the 3 W's stand for who are they, what are they, and what purpose do they serve in your life. Now, when I was going through a stressful patch, I nipped to my doctor's to have little words with the doctor, and he says, why are you getting upset over it all? I said, it's not nice when people say horrible things about you, and it's unpleasant, and it makes you feel, and when you're feeling low, it makes you even more feel low. And he says, Angela, why are you getting worried? Who are they? What are they? And what purpose do they serve in your life? And you know what? Anytime I go through hassle now in life with people, I go, or somebody starting, I always sit there and go, who are you actually? What are you? And what purpose do you serve? And if they don't serve anything, and I don't really know them, let them get on with it. Like I experienced many years ago, somebody, I've heard through the grapevine, my daughter come in distressed, saying this person, saying this, that and the other about me. And I went, and? She, but it's not very nice. I said, but I don't care. Because who are they? They are that person. What are they? Nobody better than me. And what purpose do they serve in my life? Are they here helping me with my children? Do they come in and have a cup of tea with me? Do they have a chinwag? Do I meet them up on a social event or in a pub or anything like that? And the answer is no. So whatever they said about me, I didn't care. And it's such a relief having that feeling that you're like, who are you? What are you? And what do you actually serve? And ever since I looked at people like that or scenarios like that, I've never let them get to me now. Because it is horrible when you're going through a bad patch and then you hear people badmouth you off. So I always sit there now and I go, it's like an instance I was trying to get some people were having a fallout and they're trying to drag me into it. I'm like, no, none of you serve a purpose in my life, so I'm not going to get involved in your argument. But I didn't actually say that to them. I was mentally thinking it. So when they started, I was like, no, I'm only here in this group to support the community. If you lot want to argue against yourselves, I say what I need to say and leave me alone. And I tell you, if everybody starts having an attitude like that, who are you? What are you? And what purpose? I think I'll only get offended if I know somebody was in my pocket giving me a helping hand, and then if they say something, then I'll take it on board. So there's a nice little tip of you. The 3 W's. So next time somebody starts annoying you and starts dragging you into their arguments or say awful things about you behind your back, just sit there and go, you are the 3 W's. And that's all you need to do. You don't have to say it. You go, you are the 3 W's. You're most probably somebody I talked to once in a blue moon in this social event. You're most probably sit and talk to somebody because I know you through Joe Blogs. But really, because I know you through Joe Blogs, you don't really serve a purpose in my life. So it's like then go, ciao. And you really do. And so what if Joe Blogs says this about you? Who cares? You know what you are. You know what you're capable of. Not everybody's going to really appreciate or like you, so just crack on and get on with it. Right, the other one is social services experience. Now, we all know when we go through a split up, somebody's going to get social services out on you, which is really annoying because there are children out there that are in crisis and they need the support. But hey, you go through your little splits and you end up having them on your doorstep and you deal with it. And you know what? When they come to your doorstep, don't get cross with them. They've heard a lie about you. There's an incident I had many years ago. Actually, I've had them on my doorstep quite a lot. My ex manipulated people to send them out on me. My first experience of having a social worker was I was living in a little village and me and my ex-partner just split up he's supposed to have gave me the school uniform, but he didn't. So I said, can you drop him off at the school for me then? Because I only had one lot. I never got around to buying another spare pair. Had to after that. Because, you wash them quite regularly so you don't buy. And kids grow, don't they, like nobody's business. So anyway, I phoned up to school and I said, hi, I said, I'm just wondering if the ex-partners dropped off the uniform. And she hinted at me to let me know, no, I can't tell you that he's been into the school and had a meeting with the head. And I'm like, what are you going on about? I didn't ask that. And it's only afterwards I realised what the secretary was telling me. She basically was politely telling me, your ex has been in the school, he's had a meeting with the head, and because this was a new head, so this head had no idea all the things with 4 young children. I used to help them out when I had my baby, my youngest one, the baby. I used to go in and help decorate the bloody primary schools, the toddler, the nursery group, and I went in there decorating them with the baby. But the new head didn't know things like that, you see. She went on what my ex turned around and told her. So that was my first. So I was over my head about this phone call that I was. And then when I realised that my ex-partner went into the school and he was saying nasty things about me, saying I was unfit, I weren't coping, I was this, I was that. And the only reason why I got to know it is because then the school then contacted me to tell me that she then got social services onto me. And I was like, I beg your pardon? She said, I have a legal obligation to tell you that I got social services on you. I went, okay. I said, in a minute, I'm going to burst into tears because I've just had aromatherapy massage, and one of the healing responses of aromatherapy massage is actually you cry because I wasn't sleeping. And I said, okay, then thanks for that. May I ask why? Now, I lived a 20-minute drive away. I got stuck in the train by the train station, so I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay, the children all through the time, they looked clean, they're well presented. She said, oh yeah, we're worried about you financially and you're not coping. I went, do you mean I'm not coping? She said, well, you know, we've seen a change. I went, no, there's been no change. But what I will tell you is that if you think I'm not coping because I've had 4 children on my own, let me politely tell you, you know nothing about me because you're a new head. You do keep it calm. You are angry inside. Don't get me wrong. You are cross and angry inside that this is happening to you. Especially when you're going through an unpleasant split because your world is completely changing around you. And I said, excuse me, I said, my ex-partner, the children's father, he would leave the house at 7:30 in the morning. I won't see him till 8 o'clock gone at night. I have done the morning runs. I do all the children's activities. I feed them. I bath them. I sort them out. So when he comes home at 8 o'clock at night, they're all sorted out. He does nothing to help me. Actually, I am financially, the only bonus bit about me being separated is I'm financially better off. So the teacher, and I said, you can ask anybody in that building. I have helped out with children. I have gone in there with my children. I've helped out in the school activities. I'm the one walking around with God knows how many children help supporting the swim run. I've done this. I've done that. And she went, oh, I'm sorry, Auntie Ange. She said, I didn't realise all this. I went, no, you wouldn't realise it. So my first phone call then, because I had a phone call off them, because before then they weren't coming to your house uninspectedly. So I ended up speaking to the social worker. Yeah, keep it polite. I had to leave it for a couple of days because obviously, you know, you're cross and it's not fair to. Sorry, I got a bit hairy, irritating me. To have get a bit hot-headed with the other woman when it's not their fault. They don't know. They don't know about your circumstances. So I phoned her up in a polite manner and spoke away and all that and had a nice chin wag. And she says, we leave it, we just come out for separation. Well, by then, between that visit and the second visit I had from a different social worker, I think I've had 4 really, but I can only remember 3. And so by then, by the time the second one, they brought new rules in. So they'd have to come around and vet you. So again, I pulled the children out of that school because I thought, right, okay, I'll get them into a primary school. That's 5-minute walk down the road from me. I'll do that. That'll be fine. And I had a strong instinct to go into the school and keep looking at the registration book. I don't know why. I just talked to the receptionist, glanced in the inbox. And then one particular day, I saw my ex-partner's name in there. And I'm sitting there in the reception, and he comes out with the head. Few days later, all of a sudden, I'm not allowed on the playground. And I'm like, why aren't I allowed on the playground? I've never been before. Oh no, tell it was the classroom. I wasn't allowed to drop in at the classroom because at primary school you used to drop them off, give them a bunch, and my youngest one. And I'm going, well, why is that? And then I asked. And of course my youngest one got really stressed. My youngest laddie got really stressed because mummy wasn't taking him to the school. So I was like, okay, then that's fine. I can't do nothing about it. He screams hysterically like 5-year-old boys do, or 6 at the time. My mum's not taking me into the class, this, that and the other. Because, some children, they like that routine, don't they? He had a lunchbox in one hand, a book back in the other. And I'd go, come on then, give your mum a kiss then before you go in the classroom. And he'd run off laughing his head off because that was our thing. So that stopped. And because I was trying to get him back into the class, next week, I have a phone call off the head. We're not happy with you bringing your son to school in his pyjamas because he refused to get dressed. So I took him in his pyjamas. And we're not happy about this. So we're going to call social services out on you. And I'm like, okay. And the only reason why is because I've been going to that school for like 18 months. Or 2 years. And I'm thinking, hold on, I've suddenly got this hassle because of my ex has gone in with the silver tongue. If you experience that, don't lose your rag. It's not worth losing your rag. You're going to lose to a silver tongue. And the more you try to justify yourself against a silver tongue, the more you'll make yourself look bad. So don't bother. Just go, okay, I see what's going on then. Thank you very much. And take it all in your chin. Yes, it's angry. Yes, you're hurt by it. Yes, you can't believe that your ex-partner, after most probably 4 years being split up, and he's still playing these games. But guess what? It happens. So, social services come knocking on my door. I have a chinwag with her. I tell her, they speak to the children. I made sorry, the house is a mess. I've got toys all over the place. I've got 4 children in a small 3-bedroom house. Toys are everywhere. They go up, they vet the bed, so they see that there is decent pillows, they see their nice fitted sheet, they see a blanket, they see a throw, they also see a quilt cover, because I'm terrible with winter, loads of blankets go on my bed. I said, yeah, fine, go upstairs. My house is clean, but it's untidy because I work and I have children. She come around, she vetted really, really nice, this, that and the other. And got talking. I explained about my ex-partner, his behaviour, his personality. I explained about his girlfriend's personality. Didn't badmouth him off. Didn't turn around and tell you what I think. I just said, this is his behaviour. This is what I experienced when I was with him. A, B, C and D. I know I never met his wife or girlfriend. But what I've experienced from the girlfriend, because I can't cast an opinion because I've never met her, but my experience about it is blah, 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 blah. Don't need to badmouth off. Just say your experience. So then she went off. Obviously, they go away recording it. And I pre-warned her what he's like. Had a bit of a clash with my ex. Told him that, it's court order. You have to catch your children. If you don't, then, you've got it in court order. And at the moment, you've gained social services on me back again. So you have to stick by him even more. So he phoned up another going, I'll take the children off her if you like, this, that and the other. And, the little scenario story. She's unfit and you don't think she should have the children and this, that and the other. Well, a few days later, could be in a week later or so, the social worker comes back to my house and she sits in and she says, you're so right. She says, I'm signing you off again. We don't need to visit you again. She says, but you are so right. He does say awful things about you. If I didn't meet you first and I spoke and I listened to him, you'd have had 2 of us sitting on here. Because the way he portrays you is absolutely awful. So I then said to the social worker, which is, I understand. Sad, because you spent your life with that person and they behave like this. So I turned around to the social worker and I said, okay, what have you learnt from this being a social worker? What have you gained from this? And she says, I'm not sure, Auntie Ange. I turned around and said, don't take what somebody says face value. Always when you go to somebody else, because I knew what I'm up against, so I'm different, but there are a lot of women out there that don't realise this, are upset, are angry, are hurt by this behaviour. Always go in there polite. Say, look, I don't know your ex-partner much, and he most probably is lying about you. So can we just come in and vet? I said, and you know what? You must probably see a different side of women, because, it is scary when you're dealing with this. But of course, I studied social services. I did a briefing because so I knew how they work in the category. So I said, so that's it. As long as you can listen and be kind to the person you're going to, you everything will be fine. So I got signed off. Then I had another incident. Are you ready for this? Full of cold, really, really ill. Borderline flu ill. You're really that. It's not man flu, we women flu. And I asked my ex-partner not to have a go at my youngest daughter, over something. And apparently I was kicking and punching and everything his car. So I goes home. A couple of days later, I found out that he got my son to as a witness, saying awful stuff about me, but I'll go into that one a different time. So anyway, I go down the police station, have my interview with them, put them straight, which I was even ill when I went down the police station. But we're on about social services today. So by then, because of the new regs, I have the social services on my door. Bless his little soul. I nipped out because I was looking after a friend, just to make sure, because he was poorly, so just to make sure he had some soup and that for his lunch. This a couple of weeks later. Gets home, see that I got a card from social services, and then going, oh God, here we go again. Had them round, had a chumag. Really great guy. Tried to support me with my business a bit more. So I thought it was really nice. And chatted away, and I said, because he goes, what your finances? My finances okay, I'm getting by, I'm managing okay. You should know that because you should know what I'm on. And he said, yeah, actually we do check with the doctors and your bank before we come and visit you. I said, yeah, I know. And then, they go off, and I allowed them, go and talk to my children. I'm not a perfect mum. I'm not going to be a brilliant mum. But I know I'm a good mum. And I know I cater for my children's needs. And that's all I can do to my best. So then he does that, comes back, has a chumag. He asks me, he says, I am. I'm obviously always been called up. What do I feel about it? I said, I feel really, really sad, because at the end of the day, while you're sitting in my house investigating me, there is actually another child out there that is actually being abused. So that's what I'm upset about more than anything. As you can see, excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. As you can see, my house is untidy. I've got children. I'm chaotic. But the house is clean. They've got good bedding. What more do I want? And no, he gave me, like I say, he gave me some advice, got on really well. And he turned around and he says, I'm going to white flag you because we're fed up of hearing of you. Oh, okay, thanks. And he says, if it comes back, and he told me what it means, I'm getting investigated and this, that and the other, they're going to turn and say there's no case hold. So my advice on social workers, they're listening to people's lies. So they're coming to your house. Just because, so what? You got some dirty dishes on the side. It's not the end of the world. Everybody has sometimes dirty dishes on the side, and we all done it when we sat there and we've eaten and go, oh, forget it, I can't be bothered to clean the dishes. You're going to have toys chaotic through the house. That's kids. So let them come in. Show them how friendly you are. Show them how kind they are. Show them that they're wasting their time with you. And that, yes, I know you've got to be careful because there are some bad parents out there with the kids and they do manipulate the system. But, and that's it. And they poke the bear as well to see how you react. Don't bother reacting. I got to ask, what do I think of my ex-partner's wife? And I was like, because by then he now's married her most probably. I can't really remember. And I just turned around and said, never met her, but what I've experienced, I don't think she's a nice person, but that's my opinion. Until I sit down and have a cup of coffee with her and talk to her, I can't do it because she's listening to his lies, and I'm not going to waste my time or energy justifying his lies or anything. So let him go on with it. So that's the tip for today, is always be friendly to them when they come to your door. There's no need to be nasty. Seriously, think twice before you call them out, because there is children in there in a crisis that do really need social services out. Don't call them out because you're being spiteful. And if your partner you think is struggling with the children, don't go, well, I'm going to report it and get social services on. You knock on the door and you say, I know we're not getting on great at the moment. Things are tough between us. But I am the parent of that child. I help create that child. Let me give you a helping hand. And women out there, if the bloke's turn up, so what if he's had an affair? He's done you a favour. Don't go, well, you're not seeing my kids because you've had an affair. He's done you a favour. You got rid of a bad egg. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's painful. But look at the positive side. He's a bad egg. Do you want to be a bad egg? Do you want a bad egg in your life? Or would you like a bloke who's going to turn around and say, sweetheart, I see you're not feeling too great today. I'm going to do the dishes for you. Don't worry about picking the kids up from school. I'm round the area. I'll grab them on my way home from work because I'm finishing early. That's the sort of bloke you want to be with. So if he's left you for somebody else, yes, it hurts. No, it's not nice. Yes, he's broke all the trust in your life. Let him have the kids. Gives you time out. And that. And the things you think, I child free for now, blah, blah, blah. Do a hobby. Find something. Do a bit of knitting. Do a bit of gardening. Who cares? Let's get back into knitting and sewing and all that stuff, and creating and painting little pictures and stuff. Have some time out for you. Again, let's go back to social services. Be nice to them when they come knocking on your door, because the minute you're nicer to them, obviously they aren't going to drink tea and coffee because whatever, but have them in, just have a laugh with them. I had a laugh with mine. I had a right giggle with them. Yeah, so first one I was upset and disheartened, so I'm not going to turn around. It's great because I couldn't believe my ex-partner would stoop so low, but then they do. You don't like to think your ex was stupid, but they do. Or the in-laws. So, or your own family. I mean, that's even worse when your own family calls them out on you, isn't it? And do you know why? If your family's called them out on you, you're most probably coping a lot better than what your own mother and father did. That's how I would look at it. I mean, I've never had that where my mother did it with me, but I always had it all off my ex. So, so if you find out your mother's called them out on you, just say to him, I think my mother's jealous because I'm most probably doing a better job than bringing up the children than what she brought the children up on. Yeah, and turn things around positive. So anything you want to discuss, drop a line for the future. You just put in there and go, Auntie Ange, I've come across this. What would your guidance be? I saw the 3W stroke social worker. I'm experienced this. What advice or guidance would you give me? And I'm quite happy. Just drop a line in. Come and chat up. I know I'm late putting out there what I want to do, but I'm getting used to all this on my own. And then just say, say if I'm doing a different one, say I'm doing the police on the doorstep. That's going to come soon. And the texting and how you can turn texts into be funny. So next week I'll talk about some of my texts I receive and how you can turn them into jokes back. So if you say, oh, Auntie Ange, I saw your ex-bait or whatever. Oh, I can't think of the first episode I did. Or blah, blah, blah. I'm actually going with this. What would your advice be? How would you guide me? And even though that episode happened 3 months ago, 4 months ago, could be a year ago, just drop a line. I say, this is what I would suggest you to do. You don't have to wait for this one. Or say 3 weeks down the line, you go, I saw your 3W stroke social worker. I've got social work on my doorstep. Blah, 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 blah. And I would give you some advice and guidance and help you out, because it is horrible when you're going through a separation and you're trying to seek help and nobody's there helping or guiding you or anything like that. This is what I've set this up for, to give people guidance so you don't lose your rag. You don't feel you're on your own. People out there have experienced it. And like I said before, I've given loads and loads of advice to my friends, everything. I've had friends go through separations and I've guided them and I've helped and supported them, and they've taken on my advice. I mean, I have them phoning me up and going, even though I haven't spoken to some of them, it could be 6 months, 18 months, I suddenly get a random text out the blue thinking I'm going through this. Excuse me, a cough again. And I could just imagine just you sitting on my shoulders like two little devils, you know, an angel and a devil going, because I want to be like this. And you're going, don't be like that because it's not worth it. Da, 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 da. So, you know what I mean? Just try and, again, I'm going to leave on this note. Don't take the bait. You got it? So when you start seeing me in future, I'll be hearing, or I'm walking around London or Scotland or, I don't know, Newcastle or anywhere, or abroad, if I'm on holiday, I'll be expecting people to shout out, don't take the bait, Auntie Ange. So that'd be quite an interesting thing. So again, I'm going to leave you on this note. Again, drop me a line, anything you want to come. I'm getting regular clicking into the system now so I can see if anybody messages me, so I can discuss it on the next time I come in. So again, don't take the bait. And I'll see you next week. Bye. I've got to stop.